Are your kitchen and bathroom way overdue for a remodel? Well, I got the guy for you. Call John Sellers at First Response Contracting, 484-256-7136. Both residential and commercial services, and he's licensed and insured. Call him at 484-256-7136. First Response Contracting. Hello, this is Brad Weisman. You're listening to Real Estate and You. It's been a long time since I've done a recording, actually. It's probably been about 3 weeks, and that's because we're really busy in real estate. But I have two awesome guests that are going to be on here pretty much every month. I think so, right? Yeah, every month. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what's going on in the market, what's happening in the market, what's the latest, what are the challenges, and all those other things. So I have Susan McFadden, and I have Mark, what's her name? Is it Chaknos? Is that right? Mark Chaknos? Yeah. I knew your dad. I wasn't sure your name. But yeah, so here we are. This is Real Estate and You, and this is a special edition. This is going to be basically the Partners of KW edition. How's that?
Oh, I like that.
Do you like that?
I do like that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cool. So the reason I wanted to do this is because I think there's so many challenges in any market, whether it be good or bad, there's challenges, right? You guys agree? You can talk, by the way. You have microphones.
Yes.
So what we want to talk about today is actually I'm going to put Mark on the hot seat right away and just say, you told me something when we were just chatting in the green room, we'll call it, about the inventory. And this is why we're having such crazy stuff going on. Tell me what you said about the inventory.
So a lot of buyers right now are wondering why the prices are so high. You know, why the jump we've seen from last year, to this year, which has been 20, 30% in a lot of markets.
Wow.
And really what it's coming down to is maybe three factors. Number one, inventory. At last year's levels, we were around 1,700 homes on the market in all of Berks County. This year, under 600 homes on the market.
So it's actually more than half. It's incredible. Yeah. So what do you think it is? I think you had said it's around 550, and that changes every day. Of course,
it does. But I mean that and the pent up demand that we had, obviously from COVID. You combine that with interest rates below 3% for 30 years. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
And that's where you're seeing this stark increase in pricing.
Yeah, Susan, what are you seeing?
Well, even just people that I met with, let's say in February, who were ready to list end of March, April, now they're back ready to list. And the pricing I gave them before, they're getting a lot more money now. So it's a really good conversation because I'm saying, remember what your house was worth when we came out and we agreed that was a good price. Now it's worth $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 more. So that's pretty exciting on the selling end.
And that's not the conversation we usually have.
No.
Usually it's the other way. Hey, by the way, I was here 3 months ago, and now guess what? It dropped by 20.
Right.
So you're saying you go in there, and now you're saying it went up by 20,000 after what? A couple months.
And then we're getting multiple offers and going over that. So it's amazing how quick it changed and how our marketing plans, I think pivot is the big word of this year.
Yeah.
We all had to kind of pivot on how we marketed homes, because everything changed in March. So
it is. And I think it's not as much about marketing right now. It's about experience on how to negotiate. Because our marketing is not, I think it's interesting when a market is down, we end up having to be creative on how to get the public to know about our listings.
Right.
Now it's about, okay, well, how do we help our clients either if it's a buyer, get the home, or if it's a seller, getting the highest price and also having it appraised. So what do you see with appraisals?
With appraisals so far, I haven't run into too many issues, but the name of the game with appraisals has always been, once you get up in the higher price points, you're dealing with fewer and fewer comps. And especially in such a limited inventory market, the higher price points continue to struggle to get the appraised numbers. And I know Susan's seen that on a couple of her higher price listings. I've seen it on a few of mine. So far in the lower ones, haven't gotten burned. You can always appeal appraisals. Because appraisers, just like realtors, are overworked right now, and they make mistakes. So that's one aspect of the industry that a lot of realtors don't recognize that you can do.
I did have one over in Exeter, and the appraisal came in, and the buyer's agent called me. She was shocked. It came in $20-some thousand low. We were worried. I called the appraiser, who was very nice, and said, guess what? I made a mistake. The number didn't carry down properly. And everybody's just overworked. Like, great appraiser, he just made a mistake, but thank God I took the time to make the phone call. And didn't just change the price by $20,000. We would have had a big issue there. So everybody's
overworked. I mean, we just heard this morning from Mike Bauer, and we hear from Justin Perella and whoever you're using for your mortgages. But we're all hearing that they're tapped. I mean, the underwriters are tapped, the appraisers are tapped. So when that happens, these are our mistakes, So what are you finding? When it comes to your buyers, what are you telling them to kind of build the expectation for what they're about to experience going into this market to buy?
I think the biggest thing is don't start looking at homes because you will fall in love with a home until your home is under contract. Maybe go out once and see neighborhoods you like, neighborhoods you don't like, but to go out and fall in love with something that you will never be able to get if you need to get your home under contract first, you're just setting yourself up for a lot of stress, a lot of disappointment. It's just such a crazy market. Get your house listed, focus beforehand, getting your house listed. And then when you're getting an offer coming in, then go out and look at the homes. You just don't set yourself up for disappointment. I think we need to do a really good job setting expectations because it might take a couple houses before they find the right one.
Yeah. What are you seeing, Mark?
Yeah, it's tough for buyers. The timing of the selling and buying process has never been more difficult, right? Trying to figure that out for a buyer that needs to sell a home first. So what I do typically is I start out by, let's talk to a lender. Let's find out, number one, can we get pre-approved for this house without having your home sold first?
Very important in this market if you can make it happen.
If you can make an offer without that contingency, it's huge for you. Number two, do you need the equity out of that house? Another important aspect. You can do some number crunching that way. And then number three, if you do have to sell first, then it's really figuring out that correct timing, isn't
that hard?
But it's amazing how well it's working out. I have a client moving to New Jersey, and we listed their house in Morgantown, and they wanted to make sure that they had time to find the house in New Jersey. And it's not like they could get there the minute something went on the market. We had, I think, 3 offers, and 2 of the offers said, listen, we'll give them as much time as they need. We signed an addendum. So I'm finding that because it's such a seller's market, the buyers will do what it takes to get the house. So they signed an addendum saying they had 30 days to find suitable housing, and that if they couldn't, they would extend beyond that. And luckily, around 25 days in, my clients found a house in New Jersey. So they were able to, everything was able to work. So it's amazing how the timing does line up.
Yeah, and also I think, and to piggyback that, Susan, is the conversation with, if you're representing the buyer, the conversation with the listing agent to find out what is really important.
Right.
It's not always price. It's not always price. Think about if you're moving from one state to the next or whatever, there's storage that becomes involved there. There's interim housing that can be involved. So if a seller gets an offer, it might even be a little less or it's just full price. But if the buyer's willing to do whatever it takes to make it happen, that's who wins. It's about winning the house today. It's not always about the highest price.
Yeah, I mean, do you always call the listing agent and say, like, what settlement date do they
Absolutely.
want? You might as well give them all those. Give them what you can. Give them what they want.
And you get to hear what's really going on in their voice, too. You can tell what's most important. If you text somebody and say, hey, what's settlement date? But if you call them and say, okay, really, what settlement date? What's going to work better? Yeah, how can I win this? How can I make this happen? And a lot of times you end up winning because of that. That conversation can really, really... Are
you saying me specifically?
I'm not saying you, no. I'm talking about other agents. Oh, no. Did you know she likes to win? You might recognize.
But today, let's talk about my headphones. I don't think I won with the headphones.
Or did I? No, those are the princess headphones.
That's why I got Frozen. Is it Elsa?
Or, those are from Frozen.
Anna on one ear and Elsa on my other ear.
Catherine would be very proud to see you wearing those.
I'm really happy that I got these
she'd be very
special headphones. Thank you.
So you can't see it because it's a podcast, of course, but she's wearing these really, really cute headphones that have from Frozen, and they're really nice. So Mark and I have normal headsets on, just so you know, but that's okay. But it's because we love you.
I have the special powers.
That's right. It's exactly right. So moving on. So we talked about over full price, talked about inventory, talked about appraisals. What else are we seeing as challenges? Mark, we talked a little bit about as a broker, because you're the broker of our company and you're the kind of the guy that the buck stops here when it comes to rules, regulations, and compliance. And with this market, are you seeing increased issues coming from our agents?
Early on, I think when COVID was hitting the hardest, in March and April, we had a lot of issues with timing out settlements then.
Okay.
Sellers were really concerned about, do I need to leave my house?
Right,
should I leave my house? Is it safe to leave my house? So early on in the process, that was probably the biggest thing that came across my desk. Believe it or not, we had a lot of, and we have a lot of out-of-state buyers coming into our area. We also have a lot of people that move to Florida here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And so that's the other one that I continue to see now with Florida spiking again.
Yeah, is that going to come back?
Yeah, that were ready to retire and go to Florida.
Yeah.
Now they're like, I don't want to go to Florida. So I need to push back my settlement date. Well, the buyer wants in. So it's difficult. It's difficult for both parties. For the most part, it's all working out, but that's something that I've seen quite a bit.
I am seeing people settle and rent back if they need to settle, but the other person can't leave. I'm starting to see that.
And that works.
More and more. Yeah,
that works.
It's amazing how much it is working out. Like a lot of sellers are afraid when they go to list their house, I don't know where I'm going to go. And I promise them, we're not going to let you be homeless.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
that
right
would be
now
bad for a realtor to have
yeah.
people homeless.
Yeah,
Not
it's
good.
never happened and it won't, but it's that scary feeling for them. And, it's such a great time to sell. I mean, we know people even in this room that decided to sell because the market was so hot.
You mean Cash Out Mark? That's his new name, Cash Out Mark. Yeah, that's what I call him. Yes,
there you go.
We'll call him Cash Out Mark for this for this situation.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but this market for me, I've never seen so many well qualified buyers.
Yes,
I know.
Different than
Where are they coming
2008.
from?
They have
That's
a lot of
unbelievable.
cash.
A lot of cash.
Yeah. So, I mean, I understand that there can be pressure on the buyers and there's some pressure on the sellers too, but it's great for these sellers that they're seeing so well qualified offers come in.
Absolutely.
Cash offers, 20% down offers that are not contingent on appraisals.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. You might be worried about not knowing where to go, but this is some of the best time to sell your home.
So let's talk about what Mark just said, what that means. If you sell a house for $250 and the appraisal comes in at $240, the buyers ahead of time are saying, we'll pay the $250.
Yeah.
So you're getting exactly what you want to get, which is why it's, I mean, the most amazing time to sell.
It is.
Sure.
Look at the people doing no inspections. I mean, you know, we've never said to do that ever, but the buyers are creating that kind of happening. They're saying, well, what else can we do? Well, you could do no inspections. Not that we're saying you should do that. And all of a sudden, that has become a thing.
The one we had with in Leesport with on-site septic, I think 5 out of 5
to me,
offers
that blows my mind.
waived all the septic, pool, everything, all the inspections out of 5 offers.
I find it, I mean, I had a buyer that was doing that on a property. He didn't get the property. I'm almost glad in a way because the septic thing was really scary for me. It was a 20-some-year-old house. And you know, not checking a septic that's 20-some years old,
scary.
That you better be ready to pay $30,000 at some point if it goes wrong.
Or get him a porta potty as a closing gift.
There you go. That's a great idea. So
honestly,
you know, you're always
and
then
that.
you could have your logo on the side of the porta potty.
Your face on the side of the porta potty.
Oh yeah, okay, great. So right away it's my face because there's a porta potty there.
Well, I just figured.
I saw your face on a dumpster though, just so you know.
No, not on the dumpster.
Not on the dumpster. So that's another story. Yeah, we'll get into that at another time. But is there anything else that you want to share and that you want to say to everybody that listens to this podcast, all 2 people? Is there anything you want to say to them? Say, hey, you know, this market is this, but it's okay.
I'll go first.
You go first. I was going to say, I have a cricket sound effect that I should have used. You guys don't know about my sound effects. I'm going to just do it real quick. Hold on. So I'm going to ask you that question again. So what would you, hold on, I'm fine. What would you say about this market and you know, and how it's working out?
I think
the cricket was supposed to happen.
Wait, is that it? There we go. He wants to answer over the crickets. I think.
I know. He's like, no crickets.
Go ahead. Answer the question.
I think number one, you have to work with a good agent, right? And
that's a good answer, Mark. Really good answer.
There's a lot of realtors in Berks County, believe it or not, and this statistic goes untalked about quite a bit. There's 1,000 realtors in Berks County and only 550 homes on the market.
That's crazy.
That is unbelievable in itself when you think about it. So working with the right agent in order to win you the deal, but not only win you the deal, but really put you in a good position moving forward. I think the market will get a little bit easier for buyers, in my opinion. Once school starts back up and parents are busy with the kids again and everything, it might stabilize itself. Yeah. The interest rates aren't going to go away. They're going to stay here. They're going to stay low for a little while longer. And hopefully we can get the inventory up a little bit.
Yeah. I hope. Jeez.
It would
be nice.
That's really the key. That's really the key. Getting the inventory up, The rates will remain low for everybody, and it might become a little bit less competitive moving forward. But that means a healthier market, more stable market.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think about future?
Yeah, I see a lot of sellers even in the next couple of weeks trying to get on in case the market changes and becomes more balanced. They're like, let's get all this cash out of our house and be like Cash Out Mark. Is that your new nickname?
Cash Out Mark. Yeah, that's what we're going to call it. Cash Out Mark. Yeah, we can call it the Cash Out Mark market.
And if you work with Mark, you get some amazing mints because he steals them from my office all
is that
the
who
time.
Steals the mints? I see.
Yes, thank gosh for Costco.
The nice thing about doing this show every month is we can go back and check and see who was right about these predictions and see who was on the ball. But I think we should do this every month for sure. And I think it would be great to cover what's going on in the market. So it'll be a regular show every month on Real Estate and You. We'll call it the KW Partners Update or whatever. We'll come up with a clever name, maybe a nice clever name. You'll come up with something. I know you will. You're the marketing person.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to say thanks to Susan. Thank you to Mark. And we will be back next month with more information on Real Estate and You. Thanks for listening.
Good job, Brad.
Are your kitchen and bathroom remodels a little overdue? Well, now's your chance to call First Response Contracting. John Sellers will take care of you. 484-256-7136. They do residential and commercial, and they're licensed and insured. Give them a call at 484-256-7136.